Hello students. Today in our biology session we are going to discuss the modes of transmission of diseases. You all know that two types of diseases are there according to the communicability: communicable disease and non-communicable disease. In between the two diseases, only communicable disease can spread from person to person by various means. So, modes of transmission is that means by which an organism transfers from one carrier to another by either direct transmission or indirect transmission. So, there are so many modes of transmission of communicable diseases: droplet infection, airborne infection, contact that can be direct or indirect, ingestion, water and foodborne diseases through fecal-oral route, and lastly, vector. So today we are going to discuss the first three modes of transmission: droplet, airborne and contact. So first we are going to discuss droplet spread infection. By that picture you already have understood that this type of diseases can be transmitted through the droplets coming out from the infected person's body when they are sneezing, talking, coughing, like that. And when the healthy person nearby will inhale that droplets, contaminated droplets containing microorganisms, the healthy person also will get the disease. So transmission occurs when droplets containing microorganisms generated during coughing, sneezing and also talking are propelled through the air. Since droplets are relatively large and fall to the ground within a few feet, this type of transmission requires close proximity. So to spread the disease, the infected person should always be in close proximity to the healthy person. Otherwise, the droplet can't spread from person to person. So to prevent that disease, you should maintain the distance from the infected person. These microorganisms land on another person, entering that new person's, mainly healthy person's system through contact with his or her conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is the layer of the eye, outer layer of the eye. Nasal mucosa, that is the surface, mucous surface of the nasal cavity or mouth. However, these infected droplets may attach to the surfaces for long periods of time, so these surfaces will need additional cleaning. For this reason, there may be both droplet and contact precautions required at the same time. Means suppose an infected person is sneezing or coughing and the droplets are falling to the surface nearby, and if you are touching that surfaces and touching your nose, mouth or eyes, you can get the disease. So to prevent the diseases, you have to keep distance from the infected person and you have to be cautious when you are touching any surfaces. Examples of microorganisms that are spread by droplet transmission are influenza, colds and some organisms causing pneumonia. Next mode of transmission is air, and the diseases are airborne. Microorganisms carried in this manner remain suspended in the air for long periods of time and can be dispersed widely by air currents. One difference in between the airborne infection and the droplet infection is that droplet can't be spread in long distances and can't be suspended in the air for long periods of time. But airborne microorganisms can be suspended in the air for long periods of time and can spread long distances, can be spread in long distances. Because of this, there is a risk that all the air in a room can be contaminated. Here you can see that the microbes that are suspended in the air can be propelled through the air current, and when the person is inhaling that microorganisms through the air, it can cause airborne infections. Some examples of microorganisms that are transmitted by the airborne route are Mycobacterium tuberculosis that cause tuberculosis disease, varicella, etc. Next is direct contact. So, infectious diseases are commonly transmitted through direct person-to-person contact. You know that if you touch any infected person's infected area or exchange the body fluids, you will get the disease like that. So transmission occurs when an infected person touches or exchanges body fluids with someone else. Some skin diseases and sexually transmitted diseases can be transmitted by this way. Because skin diseases are transmitted by direct contact or touching of the infected parts of the infected persons, and also STD or sexually transmitted diseases can be transmitted by the exchange of body fluids, that is mainly blood, semen, etc. Pregnant women can also transmit infectious diseases to their unborn children, mainly through the placenta. Now next is indirect contact or through the contaminated objects. In the images also you can see that if you are touching any of the contaminated object, means the object that is previously touched by the infected person. So if you are touching this and after that without washing the hand you are touching your nose, mouth or eyes, you can get the disease. Like nowadays coronavirus is also spreading like that. Some organisms can live on objects for a short time. If you touch an object such as a doorknob soon after an infected person, you might be exposed to the infection. Transmission occurs when you touch your mouth, nose or eyes before thoroughly washing your hands. So, suppose you are touching any objects outside, you don't have to touch your mouth, nose or eyes without washing your hands. Pathogens can spread by the use of all the objects used by the infected person, like clothing, combs, any objects that is used by the infected person. If you will use that, you can get the germs. Germs can also be spread through contaminated blood products and also medical supplies. So today we had discussed 3 modes of transmission. First droplet, then airborne, then contact. In that, direct contact and indirect contact. In our next session, we will talk about another 2 mode of transmission, that is food and waterborne and vector-borne. So bye and have a good day.